What's up, y'all? So, Spirit has been prompting me really strongly, like, the last hour to, like, make this little extra video for you guys and just, give you a few messages, just, you know, without the cards or anything, just like just an overall message. So it's about relationships in general. First of all, there was like a bit of an analogy, I guess is what it would be called, that was given to me about the reason why we shouldn't judge other people. And the analogy that came through was like, so imagine that everybody's personal life is like a movie. I wanted to say like a book, but unfortunately not too many people read anymore. We're definitely more in the era of movies, okay? So you can use, I'm gonna use movies for this. So say that there is a person and their life is like a movie, and their movie is like the Saw movies. It's like this horror movie, really, really dark and twisted. And then you have somebody else and their movie is like the My Little Ponies movie. Now, in both movies, there is conflict, there's overcoming obstacles, because the name of the game in this life is growth, getting to know yourself, and growth and growing through things. So there is growth and there is overcoming obstacles in both movies, but if you took one of the little ponies in the My Little Ponies movie and they like pranced their happy little ass into the Saw movie, that little pony is going to be using only the experiences that they have as a pony in their My Little Pony movie in this new movie, which is the Saw movie. And basically what's going to probably end up happening is that little pony is going to get slaughtered, because the pony doesn't have the experience and the knowledge that the characters in the Saw movie has. Now, if you take a character from the Saw movie and you put them in the My Little Pony movie, it could be like the opposite. Like, there could be some character in that movie, in the My Little Ponies movie, one of those characters could approach that character from the Saw movies and maybe offer something more innocent or pure to that character, but that character coming from the Saw movie only knows really scary things, heavy negativity, really twisted things. So that's what they have to sort of pull from in their experience bank. So they're probably still going to end up killing the pony, because they're probably going to think that the pony's full of shit and just secretly trying to like kill them or something. So the point is to not judge other people, because their level of experience, their story, is completely different than yours. And so that's why they're going to react in ways and you're going to be like, what in the actual fuck? Because you're just coming from two different movies. Now, that doesn't mean that you should just allow anybody into your life. If you're this little pony and somebody tries to come into your life and they seem like they're from a Saw movie, that's your decision through your free will to love yourself and take care of yourself and say, nah, I'm good. I don't really want to mingle with your energy, with your movie. Like, it's okay to say no. You know, you're not necessarily being judgmental by just making a decision that is healthy for you. Now, the other subject that I felt like I was supposed to discuss is attraction. So, since this life is about personal development and getting to know ourselves better on a deep level and sort of discover the mysteries of ourselves, we often find that we are attracted to people for reasons that we don't understand. So many people have such a huge list of lovers, ex-lovers, ex-husbands, ex-wives, people that we have tried to have relationships with, or we have had relationships with, and they've ended really badly, and we're like, why did that happen? Why was I attracted to that person? I don't understand. Well, the thing is with attraction is that as you are working through these different levels of yourself, imagine yourself like an onion. As you peel off every new level, you'll find yourself being attracted to different people. You're attracted to those people because they're your mirror. They're showing you things that you need to learn about yourself, hidden things. Things that maybe are very apparent to other people, but just maybe are not apparent to you. Because the saying, you can't see the forest for the trees. So when you're down in something, it's really hard to have that outside perspective. So you're attracted to some people because they're going to help give you that bird's eye perspective of yourself. I'm going to use myself as an example. I just figured out recently that, I was and I have been super, super attracted to men who were really, really alpha and mouthy and really quick to fight, things like that. And I recently figured out that I was attracted to those things because those are things that are in me that I was not able to fully see, and then I was able to figure out why those things were in me, because my father was savage as fuck, and my mother was pretty savage too. So I was raised in an environment with a lot of hostility and a lot of violence. So when I was a child, I was like molded and developed in a way subconsciously that made me very, very comfortable with negativity, because my personal movie is sort of like Fight Club. And we could also, our movies also change and evolve over time. They're supposed to anyway. They should. I don't want to say they should, but they should, because you're supposed to be changing, you're supposed to be learning, you're supposed to be turning into new things. I don't know if that necessarily means that your soul or your higher self ever truly changes, but that's sort of a different discussion for a different day. So, my point is, you're attracted to things and people that are mirroring something in yourself that needs to be explored. Now, I had sort of a breakthrough recently with myself personally, because I realized, well, you know what? It's probably not going to be good for me to get hooked up with a guy who, doesn't know how to act right. Because, if a motherfucker aims that shit towards me, it's going to be his last fit. Because I just won't put up with that shit. And before, I did put up with that shit. But that was before, I got to this point in my healing. Because I heal every day. And I look at myself every day. And I dissect myself every day. And I'm very honest with myself about what I think is positive and what I think is negative. I am my own worst critic, and I think we all are. And there's a difference between just tearing yourself apart for no reason, and like insulting yourself and being really hard on yourself and being abusive towards yourself. You know, being abusive towards yourself is not going to get you anywhere in a healthy sense. You're not going to heal that way. So it's important to look at your negative aspects, but do it from a place of compassion and non-judgment. And just sort of be like, okay, well, I'm fucking mouthy, and I always want to fight bitches. Okay? Why? Why? Why am I like that? Who taught me how to be that way? Why do I feel comfortable with that? And then go further. Oh, well, it's because I watched my fucking parents and drag out fights every day. Or, you know, whatever you had going on, wherever that first developed, wherever that first entered your life, however you became comfortable with that. And then you can use your current mental state, your current amount of wisdom and experience, because when that stuff started, you were at a certain level, a certain experience level, and you've went through all these different levels of your life to get to where you are now. So you have a different level of experience to draw from. So that's how you can look at things from a new perspective. When you're like, okay, I'm savage as fuck and I always want to fight everybody. Why? Well, maybe because my dad was like that. Okay, now I can look back from where I am now. I can look back at that now and say, do I want to continue to be that way? Do I think that that's okay? Where I am now, after all the things I've experienced, do I still feel like it's necessary to be savage and pop off at the mouth and want to get in fights all the time and be defensive all the time? Is that really serving me? Or was that something that I was just around when I was little and I didn't know any better and it sort of just went into me that way? You know, you have the choice now to say, well, that doesn't work, that's not cool. And then it'll just automatically shift and change once you have this new perspective from this new elevated level of experience. It's just about uncovering that, peeling back that onion. And so it's really important to go slow when you're attracted to somebody, and really try to figure out the reasons that you're attracted to that person and what it is that you're truly attracted, what it is that's truly attracting you to that person. Another thing that we have a tendency of doing is trying to, like, bronze shit, okay? You could have a pile of shit and, you know, you're really trying to dip that shit into some gold. You know, this person is a hot fucking mess, but damn, they're fine. Or, you know, etc., etc. Whatever, however your programming is. They got a lot of money, they got a lot of pull, you know, whatever. You really focus on the positives, but you're not looking at the negatives. You gotta look at the negatives. I would ask you to look at the negatives first. Because those negatives aren't going anywhere. Okay? They're not going anywhere. However this person is, when you are attracted to them, you cannot... A lot of people are like, oh, you know, they're great because of this. And, you know, they will really, really downplay the negatives. Yeah, he did some time for, you know, beating the fuck out of his ex-wife, or that's a really extreme case, but, you know, whatever the case is, you know, they really want to play up the positives and really want to play down the negatives and think, well, the positives are so good that the negatives aren't going to be a problem, or we can work through the negatives will somehow change over time. That is not healthy. It is not healthy, because you can't expect that person to change those things. Because there's nothing you can do about it. It is not in your control. It's their free will. It's up to them what they do with their own life. They may change those things, but don't bank on the fact that it's going to have shit to do with you. Because it's probably not going to, and if it does, it's not real anyway. Because a person's real change has to happen for themselves. You can sugarcoat the shit all day long, but every single one of us, we are all selfish as fuck. It's just the way it is. You can love somebody all day long, you can give to somebody all day long, but at the end of the day, you're the one that has to take care of you. At the end of the day, it's up to you to make sure that you have all your needs met and you're happy, which makes you selfish. Being selfish is not necessarily a negative thing. There are negative ways that you can be self-serving and you can be a pompous asshole and go too far with it, but we're all selfish, honey. We're all selfish. And when I say honey, I'm talking to you whether you're a man or whether you're a woman. I don't care. This is for everybody. We're all selfish. So be selfish. So own that shit, you know? Own that shit. Decide who you really are and what you really want. But be easy, you know? Be malleable. Accept the fact that who you are currently attracted to, you may not be attracted to next week. And until you really have your shit together and you feel that you are a high level of healed, you know, like you have to be your own judge. I'm not saying don't ever get married. I have my own personal opinions on marriage, the way that it's done right now. I think it's fucked up if you love somebody so much that you decide you want to get the government involved. You know, I'm a revolutionary. I'm all about anarchy, so I'm not really a big fan of the government anyway. But I definitely think it's creepy to be like, oh, I love you so much. Could you please sign this legal agreement so you can never leave my scary ass? Okay, that's not cool in my opinion. But deciding that you really love somebody and you have the desire to be with them forever, that's cool. But that still may change. So it's really important to take responsibility for your own feelings. Take responsibility for your own damn self. If you choose to live your life with somebody else in it, for one thing, it's a choice. It's not necessary. You came out of your mom by yourself. It was just one of you. There's still just one of you. It is not necessary for you to have a relationship. It's a desire. So, if you're not okay by yourself, you're not going to be okay in a relationship. And if you feel some sort of unhealthy need to be with somebody, you're not going to have a good relationship. You're just not. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. You're just not. You have to be okay by yourself. So, there's just too many, there's too many absolutes and there's too much pressure. People put too much pressure on each other. You know, it's like all of a sudden it's now somebody else's responsibility to make you happy. It's all of a sudden somehow somebody else's responsibility to take care of you. But it's not. It's always your own responsibility to make yourself happy. It's always your own responsibility to take care of yourself. And a true relationship, where you can have a healthy relationship, is only going to exist between two people who take full responsibility for their own damn self and say, you know what, I'm in a shitty mood today and that ain't got nothing to do with you. Okay, so you left your clothes all over the floor and that made me really mad. The fact that I got really mad is because of me, not because of you. You can sit somebody down and say, hey, it'd be really cool if you don't leave your clothes all over the floor. But if you want to get all mad about it and turn it into a thing, that's your thing. That's not their thing. Okay, so I think that about wraps it up. And, that's it. So take it easy, y'all.